Sometimes life is just hard. Hey there, my name is WayneWrz, and on this channel we're walking the journey toward Jesus together. You can subscribe to join our community and get new videos each week. I am generally a fairly joyful and positive guy. But just because I'm always joyful, or I know that I should be joyful, doesn't mean that I'm always happy. Sometimes we're walking through hard things, and it's okay to admit that we're walking through hard things. You see, for the last 5 months, our church has been without a lead pastor, which leaves me as the only pastor. Which means like the things that I used to be able to focus on, I haven't been able to focus on as much for the last 5 months, which is kind of a hard place for me. But sometimes when I talk about it, if my wife says, "Hey, how are you feeling?" I'll say whelmed, when in fact the real answer is that I'm probably overwhelmed. The word whelmed is fun because not a lot of people will say they're whelmed. And honestly, most of the time I am whelmed. I'm not overwhelmed, and part of that is because I know that God will use this, and God is using this, but part of that is I just try and talk myself into the fact that I'm doing pretty okay, or decent is another answer that I like to give. However, I think it's also okay just to admit that, hey, today is hard. I mean, today specifically isn't hard, but like yesterday was hard, and Monday was kind of hard. Today is actually Wednesday, which is one of my favorite days for a couple of reasons, and one of those reasons is we have a charter school that uses our buildings, and on Wednesdays I volunteer there as the second adult they need in the gymnasium for PE. So, youth pastor, I get to hang out with middle schoolers and have a great time. So I'm about to go do that. We'll talk more later. So for PE, we basketballed. It was a hoot and half hanging out with the students. So I think first, just be willing to admit that you're overwhelmed, because you won't be able to process it unless you're willing to actually admit it to yourself. But I have 3 things that you can do if you're feeling overwhelmed. The first one is pray about it. That probably sounds cliche, but it's really true. Take that to God. I have this plaque right here under my computer monitor that says, "Cast all your cares on Him, for He cares for you." It says 1 Peter 5:7 is where that is in the scriptures. And just truly take your cares, take your worries to God, all powerful, creator of the universe, who cares for you. And the second thing we can do is talk to a friend, a mentor, a counselor. I sent a text message this morning to a friend asking if he had time for a phone call this afternoon. It can be great to just have somebody listen to you, have somebody to help you process, and somebody can offer wise advice or wise counsel for whatever you're walking through. So after you pray, don't be afraid, don't feel like you have to walk through this and carry this alone. Reach out to another human who loves you and cares for you and can process this with you. And the third thing we can't talk about yet because I need to rearrange this space before we can, but before I rearrange this space, I'm going to run to the store because it's Wednesday, and Wednesday is also youth night, which is awesome, and I need to go pick up some snacks. So why don't you let me know in the comments what some of your favorite snacks are, and I'm going to go to the store to buy the snacks for tonight. So I've got the snacks, and there's a teriyaki place in this little strip mall, and I don't know about you, but I could have just eaten lunch at a buffet, not hungry at all, but if I walk into that parking lot and smell teriyaki, it makes me want to eat. It's like 3 in the afternoon. I am kind of hungry, but I've decided not to eat teriyaki today. Back to the church for the stuff we talked about earlier. The number 3, it's coming. So the third thing is to pray for others. I put the bookshelves back here so I can get to the chalkboard. I had it covered for a few months, but I didn't really like the rearrangement. I think I like this better. But the last thing, when I'm feeling blue, that I like to do is pray for others. It gets my focus off me and my situation, which I need to process and work through my situation, but it also helps me to not just dwell on what I'm facing, but to take the needs of friends and family and loved ones before the Lord in prayer. So my focus is on God and what He can do and what I'm hoping that He will do for other people in my life. So those are 3 things when I'm just feeling overwhelmed or whelmed or dealing with stress that I really find help. If you have something that helps you, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out the video this week. You can like, subscribe, do all those things. I hope you have a great week as we walk the journey toward Jesus together. Take care, and bear. Who's your favorite Pokemon?
I don't know.
Do you have to catch them all?
Yeah.
You got anything that I can use like for the end screen stuff?
Bye-bye.